He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
When you get head kicked into the shadow realm, you're supposed to take a long time off.
Never fought.
That lady takes Ronda out in the first round, just beats the piss out of her.
I think the only reason that why MMA fans have their lips so firmly planted at the base of Khabib's cock is because he retired before he reached his limit.
You know, she doesn't have a chip on her shoulder. She's got a forest. She's got a whole forest on her shoulder.
And at MMA, it's like the second that you're not on top, you never were.
In this clip, Joe Rogan finally responds to the jabs Ronda Rousey took at him and the MMA community at large. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what she said on the Bert Kreischer podcast.
But it's offensive to some people. Like, oh my God, a highly accomplished woman with a high opinion of herself. Keyboard warriors to war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I said the other day that I'm the greatest ever, and man, everyone flipped the out over it. MMA fans and media are the most "what have you done for us lately" crowd of any sport. Like you look at WWE and they have such a reverence for their legends, and at MMA, it's like the second that you're not on top, you never were.
Do you know, I was just talking to Joe on the walk over, and all it takes is a text going, how long for me to train to beat Ronda? That'll never happen.
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
Is that how you feel about you?
Never fought.
He fought Taekwondo, right?
Never fought. That's not fighting. It's not fighting.
Well,
here is what Joe Rogan had to say about that on the latest episode of JRE.
When she said, like, I wasn't an expert, everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know, but you got to understand why she thinks like that. Because she has a champion mentality. You never fought, you ain't shit. You know, it's real simple.
That's why the football guys always do that. You didn't play? You're like, yeah, but I studied the sport.
Doesn't matter, you ain't shit. I get it. It's totally fine. Ronda is world-class judo. World-class. Bronze medalist in the Olympics. One of the best arm bars, period, in the sport, in the history of the sport. Her fucking arm bar, the technique was flawless. There's a fight with her and Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano launches at her, just fucking, Kat Zingano was an animal, charges at her, Ronda catches her in an arm bar in like 13 seconds. I don't remember the exact time. It was nuts, but it was perfect technique. You know, you couldn't fuck with that. But then she fought Holly Holm. And when she fought Holly Holm, she was dealing with an elite boxer, an elite kickboxer, and a very physically strong woman who had an awesome game plan and who had a chance to study Ronda. And maybe more importantly, came from a great camp. So they were really good at game planning. So they knew how Ronda likes to clinch. They knew how Ronda likes to set up her takedowns, and they knew, you know, what to avoid. And then on top of that, Holly's just an elite striker. So every time Ronda tried to close the distance, the striking that she was very effective with against guys like Betch Correia, these fighters that were a lower tier, it's not going to be as effective with someone like Holly. And Holly started catching her on the feet and had her rocked and then landed that famous high kick and put her out. Also, the problem in that fight, I think, for Ronda is when you start becoming really famous, then the hyenas show up. And they start offering you this and offering you that and distracting you with this and distracting you with that. And now you're going to meetings and you're talking to agents and you're setting up movies and you're doing this and you're doing that. And all those things take away from the most important thing, which is your fighting. Even if they don't take away from the amount of training you do, they take away from your focus. Ronda, I was one of the biggest champions of her as a fighter, as a legitimate pioneer and a star. It was Gina Carano and Chris Cyborg to a certain extent, but Cyborg had an asterisk because everybody knew she was roided up. And then it was Ronda. But Ronda eclipsed all of them. She was bigger than all of them. I was a huge supporter and still am. But when you watch a fight and you're watching you get your ass kicked and the other person is talking about how great the other person is doing and how bad you're doing, that doesn't sit well with a lot of people, especially like someone who's got that kind of champion mentality, that fucking pit bull mentality. Like, I thought you were with me. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then it was after the fight. I was very public about saying I don't think she should fight for a long time. they were talking about doing an immediate rematch. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, they were talking about doing a rematch in 4 months or something like that. I was like, when you get head kicked into the shadow realm, you're supposed to take a long time off. When Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, it was a fucking picture-perfect right hand that knocked Manny Pacquiao out. His coach, Freddie Roach, said, you can't fight for a year. I don't want you doing anything for a year, for 1 year. And then there was the Amanda Nunes fight. So the Amanda Nunes fight, I was also very vocal that everybody was putting all of the attention in the promotion on Ronda making this huge comeback. And if you watch the promos for that fight, I thought they were crazy disrespectful because the promos, and obviously, look, Ronda was a fucking huge star, a much bigger star than Amanda Nunes. And that loss was a shocking upset to a lot of people that didn't understand martial arts and didn't think that Holly had a chance. Didn't think anybody had a chance. She was going to beat everybody forever. But all of the promo was Ronda coming back. All of it was like she's coming back to take what's hers. It was Ronda in a mansion looking out. It was like the worst promo set. Like Ronda in a mansion looking out the window saying, I'm going to go get my title. I don't know who made that. I don't know what it was, but I remember being backstage the day of the fight. And there was all these agents mulling around, all these Hollywood twats. And this guy was like, I forget his exact words. They were talking. He didn't know who Ronda was fighting. And he said, I don't know what her name is, but whoever it is, it's her funeral. That's what he said. And I was like, oh my God. Like, these are the people. Meanwhile, Amanda Nunes was the scariest person at 135. And that's what I had said before she fought Holly Holm. I mean, like Dana and I talked about, I said, I think Amanda's the scariest title challenger because she can flatline chicks with one punch. Right. She's very different than all the other ones. She wound up flatlining Chris Cyborg. It was a crazy fight. She beats the fuck out of everybody. She hits so hard, like way harder than most women. And I was like, that's a dangerous fucking opponent. And they're making it seem like this is all about the Ronda comeback when Amanda was the champion. And then that fight happens, and then that lady takes Ronda out in the first round, just beats the piss out of her, just stops her standing. It was brutal. You know, I never had a bad thing to say about Ronda. I still don't. I understand her mentality. I mean, she's a champion-minded person. Like, she's like, you're fucking with me or against me. It's me against the world. You know, she doesn't have a chip on her shoulder. She's got a forest. She's got a whole forest on her shoulder. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Like, but that's why she was so good. And we're lucky she's a woman. If that lady was a man, she'd be Genghis Khan. Okay, she'd fucking take over the world. She's an animal.
It's scary.
So that's why she has that opinion. That's just how she thinks about things. Every fighter can only redline for so long. And the reality of fighting is you're redlining.
What does that mean?
You know what a redline, when the engine, you know, when your tachometer reaches like 8,000 RPMs, like, right. You can only do that for so long or your engine blows. But to be in peak physical condition, to be able to fight in a championship fight, you essentially have to redline your body through camp. You have to get your body to a place where it's at a rare... You can't maintain fight shape. Right. It's not possible. You get to a certain part, you peak, and then the last week you kind of drop off so that you can recover. And so that Saturday night, when Saturday night rolls up and the lights go on in Madison Square Garden, you are as fucking ready as a human being can get. But you can't maintain that, and you can't do that forever. She's not a bad guy. She's, you know, like, look, her mother was a badass. Her mother was a elite judo competitor.
Actually, I hate disagreeing with you, Joe. Yeah. But she went to wrestling, Ronda. And then she said all these terrible things about the wrestlers. She said terrible things about you, who I love.
She didn't say anything terrible about me.
She said you're not an expert
about UFC.
That's all
she said. That's not terrible. That's just an opinion.
Seems mean to me.
No. That's all. Look, if I was a pussy, it would be mean.
Well, I'm a pussy. I'm defending you. That's what I'm doing.
If I was like,
that's what we do, dude.
That's my whole identity.
No, I'm just saying.